Hello, good morning. Today also I will read two story. The story of Chattapani, a late disciple, and the story of Visakha. Today two story. The first story, the story of Chattapani, a late disciple. While reciting at the Chedavana monastery, the Buddha uttered verses 51 and 52 of this book with reference to the late disciple Chattapani and the two queens of King vicinity of Kosala. A late disciple named Chattapani, who was an anagami, lived in South. On one occasion, Chattapani was with the Buddha at the Jedavana monastery, respectfully and attentively listening to a religious discourses. When the king vicinity also came to the Buddha, Chattapani did not stand up because he thought that by standing up, it might mean that he was paying respect to the king, but not paying due respect to the Buddha. The king took that as an insult and was very much offended. The Buddha knew exactly how the king was feeling, so he spoke in praise of Chattapani, who was well versed in the Dhamma and had also attained the Anagami fruition. On hearing this, the king was impressed and favorably inclined towards Chattapani. When the king next met Chattapani, he said, "You are so learned. Could you please come to the palace and give lesson on the Dhamma to my two queens?" Chattapani declined, but he suggested that the king should request the Buddha to assign a bhikkhu for this purpose. So the king approached the Buddha in connection with this. And the Buddha directed the Venerable Ananda to go regularly to the palace and teach the Dhamma to Queen Malika and Queen Vasa Bhakatiya. After some time, the Buddha asked the Venerable Ananda about the progress of the two queens. The Venerable Ananda answered that although Malika was learning the Dhamma seriously, Vasabhakti Vasabhakatiya was not paying proper attention. On hearing this, the Buddha said that the Dhamma could be of benefit only to those who learn it seriously with due respect and proper attention and then practice diligently what was taught. Then the Buddha spoke in verse as follows. Just as a beautiful flower, lacking in scent, cannot give the wearer the benefit of its scent, so also the web preached words of the Buddha cannot benefit one who does not practice the Dhamma. Just as a flower, beautiful as well as fragrant, will give the wearer the benefit of its scent, and also the way preached words of the Buddha will benefit one who practices the Dhamma. This kind story, the story of Visakha. While residing at the Bodharama monastery in Saudi, the Buddha uttered verse 33 of this book with the reference to Visakha, the famous donor of the Bodharama monastery. Visakha was the daughter of a rich man of Badia named Dhananjaya and his wife Sumna Devi and the granddaughter of Mentaga, one of the five extremely wealthy men of King Bimbisara domain, dominions. When Visakha was 7 years old, the Buddha came on a toward to Badia. On that question, the rich man Mandaka took Visakha and her 500 companions with him to pay homage to the Buddha. After hearing the discourse given by the Buddha, Visakha, her grandfather, and all her 500 companions attained Sadhavati fruition. When Visakha came of age, she married Punyawardhana, son of Migara, a fairly rich man from Saudi. One day, while Migara was having his meal, a bhikkhu stopped for alms at his house, but Migara completely ignored the bhikkhu. Visakha, seeing this, said to the bhikkhu, I'm sorry, Your Reverence, my father-in-law only eats leftovers. On hearing this, Megara flew into a rage and told her to leave this house. But Visakha said she was not going away and that she would send for the 8 elderly rich men who were sent by her father to accompany her and to advise her. It was for them to decide whether she was guilty or not. When the heirs came, Megara said to them, while I was having my rice made with milk in a golden bowl, Visakha said that I was taking only that and filth. For this offense, I am sending her away. Thereupon, Visakha explained as follows. When I saw my father-in-law completely ignoring the bhikkhu standing for us food, I thought to myself that my father-in-law was not doing any meritorious deed in this existence. He was only afterwards. Now says, what do you think? Am I guilty? The heirs decided that Visakha was not guilty. Visakha then said that she was one who had absolute and unshakable faith in the teaching of the Buddha, and so could not stay where the bhikkhus were not welcome, and also that if she was not given permission to invite the bhikkhus to the house to offer us food and house, so to the house. The next day, the Buddha and his disciples were invited to the house of Visakha. When Anne's food was about to be offered, she sent word to her father-in-law to join her in offering food, but he did not come. When the meal was over again, she sent a message, this time requesting her father-in-law to join her in hearing the discourse that would soon be given by the Buddha. Her father-in-law felt that he should not refuse for a second time, but his ascetic teachers, the Nigandas, would not let him go. However, they considered that he could listen from behind a curtain. After hearing the Buddha's discourse, Nigara attained Sodavati fruition. He felt very thankful to the Buddha and also to his daughter-in-law. Being so thankful, he declared that henceforth Visakha could be like a mother to him, and Visakha came to be known as Migara Mata. Visakha gave birth to 10 sons and 10 daughters, and 10 sons and 10 daughters each were born to everyone of her children and grandchildren. Visakha possessed an immediately appeared gem encrusted cloak given by her father as a wedding present. One day, Visakha went to the Chidona monastery with her entourage. On arriving at the monastery, she found that her bejeweled cloak was too heavy. So she took it off, wrapped it up in her shawl, and gave it to the maid to hold it and take care of it. The maid absent-mindedly left it at the monastery. It was the custom for the Venerable Ananda to look after the things left by anyone of the lay disciples. Visakha sent the maid back to the monastery, saying, "Go and look for the bejeweled cloak. But if the Venerable Ananda had already found it and kept it in a place, do not bring it back. I donate the bejeweled cloak to the Venerable Ananda, but the Venerable Ananda did not accept her donation. So Visakha decided to sell the bejeweled cloak and donate the sale proceeds. But there was no one who could afford to buy that bejeweled cloak. So Visakha bought it back for 9 score and 1 lakh with his money. She built a monastery on the eastern side of the city. This monastery came to be known as Bogarama. After the libation ceremony, she called all her family to her, and on that night she told them that all her wishes had been fulfilled and that she had nothing more to desire. Then, reciting 5 verses of exhortation, she went around and around the monastery. Some bhikkhus, hearing her, thought she was singing and reported to the Buddha that Visakha was not like it before, and that she was going round and round the monastery singing. Could it be that she had gone off her head? They asked the Buddha. To this question, the Buddha replied, "Today, Visakha had all her wishes of the past and present existence fulfilled, and on account of that sense of achievement, she was feeling elated and contented." Visakha was just reciting some verses of exhortation. She certainly had not gone off her head. Visakha, throughout her previous existence, had always been a generous donor and an ardent promoter of the doctrine of successive Buddhas. She was not she was most strongly inclined to do good deeds and had done much good in her previous existences. Just as an expert florist makes many garlands from a collection of flowers, then the Buddha spoke in verse as follows. As from a collection of flowers, many a garland can be made by an expert florist. So also, much good can be done with the world out of faith and generosity by one subject to birth and death. That's all today. I read the 2 story already finished. Thank you for your listening to my reading of the story of Dhammavada in the Dhammavada book. Thank you all.